Harry Potter and the Half-Blood Prince may be the weakest Harry Potter movie in the series. I'm not saying it's bad because it does have some good moments in it that really make the film, but compared to the other films in the series, it's probably my least favourite out of all 8 films. And I think that's all to do with the way this film was adapted from book to screen. In my last Harry Potter review, I talked about how The Order of the Phoenix was the best adaptation in the series because it was able to take those okay moments from the book and turn them into new exciting scenes in the film. But The Half-Blood Prince doesn't really do this, and instead it takes small moments from the book and turns them into the main parts of the film, and the main plot is left sidelined. Now, the Half-Blood Prince book is actually quite a good book, and for most fans it's their favourite Harry Potter book. And I would have to agree with that, it's definitely one of my favourite books in the series. The book is very dark and has some very deep themes in it that have never been explored in the other Harry Potter books up until this point, meaning that the movie had a lot of potential to be great. But unfortunately, it didn't reach those same levels that the book had. The movie starts with the Death Eaters causing terror in the Muggle world, a really good scene to start the movie, but unfortunately is then followed with a scene of Harry in an underground train station flirting and asking out a girl. Does that just seem a little weird to you? It seems so out of place and I don't think it needed to be included. And that there might just be the biggest problem with this film. The relationships, teen drama and dating all take centre stage for some reason, while the important things like exploring Voldemort's memories, learning about the Horcruxes, all of the bad and strange things that are happening in the Wizard and Muggle world, and of course the Half-Blood Prince, the thing the book is named after. All of these things are left completely sidelined, which is very disappointing. They go into way too much detail about the relationships in this film. You have the relationship between Harry and Ginny, which seems to have taken a massive jump from the last film to this film. If you have only read the books, you know that Harry and Ginny have a very strong bond, and Harry definitely likes her. But if you've only watched the films, it does seem like Harry and Ginny's relationship does come out of nowhere. That is why the popular Ginny slipped Harry a love potion is such a popular Harry Potter theory, because in the films, yes, it does seem like it comes out of nowhere. Apart from a little bit of foreshadowing in the Chamber of Secrets, and some little blink and you missed it moments in the previous film, The Order of the Phoenix, it is a little bit out of the blue. When the two are on screen together, they act as if they have no chemistry, and they're always acting so awkward in front of each other. Although this isn't so much of the actor's fault and more of the writing and directing's fault. And I wish I could tell you that this was the only relationship in this film, but oh boy it isn't. The film goes into the relationships of Ginny and Dean, Hermione and McLaggen, and Ron and Lavender's relationship. Oh, it's bad. It's so bad. It might be different if the relationships weren't a main part of the film, and if their relationship actually went somewhere, but they don't. Instead, they break up 2/3 of the way into the film when, get this, Ron says Hermione's name when he's asleep and Lavender hears. Why are you making this the main part of the story? Of course there are relationships in the book, but they don't overshadow the story, and instead it just complements the rest of it. And it's a shame that the important things were left so sidelined, because with what they did include, they did really well. Learning about the Horcruxes and Harry and Dumbledore becoming friends as they learn more about Voldemort's memories, they are really good scenes. It's just a shame that they cut a lot of the memory scenes out, because when they do them really well. And a reason why so many people like the Half-Blood Prince is because of the memory scenes. The scenes with Draco were also done really well. Draco has gone from this school bully to this misunderstood, scared kid who we can even feel sorry for in times, as Voldemort sets up a mission for him to kill Dumbledore. And of course, the Half-Blood Prince. The book is not mentioned as much as it should be. It's a big part of the book, obviously, because that's what the book is named after, but it would have been good if they did include it more into the film. It is introduced at the start and then appears a few times here and there, but apart from that, that's it. We almost forget about it until Snape tells Harry that he is the Half-Blood Prince. Overall, these scenes that were the main focus of the book are done really well when they are occasionally used in the movie. But it doesn't excuse them from not making them the main focus in the movie, and not all of the relationship stuff. And this once again comes down to how the book was adapted to film. Because when you are adapting a story, you need to know what the important things are to focus on. And focusing on all the relationships shouldn't have been the main story. But because they did choose to focus on all of that, the movie feels more like a filler. The book itself doesn't feel like a filler, but the movie kind of does, because it feels like they're setting up a lot of plot points for the final installment. And they also felt the need to include scenes. I'm of course talking about the Death Eaters burning the burrow. Now to be honest, I do actually like this scene, but I do remember when watching this movie for the first time and being very confused if I'd missed something from the book. And even though this was a really cool action-packed scene with heaps of emotion, It's just unnecessary, and they should have left it out and included more scenes of Voldemort's memories in the Half-Blood Prince, because if it wasn't in the book, there's no real point including it. However, this movie still has heaps of many impactful moments that are incredibly well done, like Harry and Dumbledore going to the cave to retrieve the Horcrux, followed by Dumbledore's death with Snape killing him. It's such an emotional scene, it makes the viewer feel multiple things. It would have been good if they included the big fight at Hogwarts with the Death Eaters versus students, but it was still a good scene. As far as performances go in this film, there are a few people to mention, like Tom Felton, who plays Draco, Alan Rickman, who plays Snape, and Michael Gambon, who plays Dumbledore. Who, even though in some of the previous films his portrayal of Dumbledore wasn't that good, he does give a good performance in this film. David Yates comes back to direct this film like he did with the last one, but these two films feel very different from each other, even though he did direct both of them. It definitely wasn't his best film to direct, and it doesn't feel like a lot of his other work. I think some of the performances in this film could have been better and they were a little off. Even heck, Daniel Radcliffe says this movie was his least favourite in terms of his performance. And again, that's all having to do with the film's focus on the romantic side of things. Because Harry Potter isn't a romantic comedy, and this movie shouldn't have been. So the directing might be at fault here, but the writing is definitely to blame too. Because yeah, some of the lines are not great. No wonder the actors look so awkward when filming scenes. Because some of these lines in this film seem like they come straight from the Star Wars prequels.
Open up, you. Don't you trust me?
Overall, this film was okay. It would probably be my least favourite Harry Potter film, but The Goblet of Fire does come close. I don't know if they were trying something new, but even if they were, it didn't pay off. If they kept to the story and focused on the important things, which was the main plot, it might have made for a better film, but unfortunately that is why, in my opinion, it's the worst Harry Potter adaptation in the series. But comment down below what you think, and thank you so much for watching this video. Make sure to subscribe to the channel and give this video a big thumbs up if you enjoyed, and I'll see you next Friday.